Did Jackson State just offer the next quarterback to take over the program after Shedeur Sanders? Let's find out. Let's talk about it right after the bumper. What is up, everybody? What is up, everybody? My name is JeffLightsyJr here with the Black Boss channel of Victory Formation. Thank you guys for tuning in. Be sure to hit that thumbs up button, like, share, subscribe, notification bell because we upload every single day. Now, we know the Jackson State football program is in good hands with quarterback Shedeur Sanders over the next 2 to possibly 3 years. We know Shedeur just had a remarkable freshman season where he was, Jerry Rice Award winner, SWAC Freshman of the Year, all the awards, all the accolades, led Jackson State 11-2, SWAC East champs, SWAC champions, and he looks like for the foreseeable future he will be the team's quarterback leading it into battle week in, week out against the top SWAC teams in the country. And that is all good. But at some point, Shedeur will move on and go have a professional football career. I think he will, by the time the end of his junior and possibly at the end of his senior year, he will be a high-level first-round draft. I mean, a high-level draft pick. Maybe not first round. I think he has the talent to be a first-round draft pick. But even if it's not first round, second round, no later than third, I think he'll be a high-round draft pick, early draft pick. But it's never too early to look at who could be coming behind Shedeur. Now, we know Jackson State has other quarterbacks on the roster. You have Grayson Thompson. You have the transfer, a walk-on transfer from Ohio State. He's not a walk-on anymore at Jackson State. JP from Ohio State, Grayson Thompson. But those guys aren't the answer after Shedeur. The answer will be some young man who's possibly in high school right now. And I'm going to take a look at one who is extremely talented coming out of the East Coast, out of the Baltimore area. And that is a young man by the name of Michael Van Buren. Michael Van Buren plays at a prestigious St. Francis Academy up in Baltimore, one of the top programs in the entire country, 4-star quarterback. And he's already committed to playing the Under Armour All-American game. Obviously, we know Coach Prime has ties to Under Armour All-American game as he coached in it for a decade. So let's take a look at this. Let me show you the young man's Twitter and talk to you about. Now, this is way too early to talk about the departure of Shedeur Sanders, but it's never too early. It's never too early. It is too early, but it's never too early. It says, I'm extremely blessed to receive an HBCU offer from he even got the in there, the Jackson State University. And obviously, he tags Coach Prime, Coach Bartoloni, which is the offense coordinator. That's key. That's what you're going to sell the young man on. But he's only coming out his sophomore year of high school. He's still got his junior and senior. Still got 2 years of high school left. So maybe it is too early, but Shedeur's got his sophomore and junior years at least before he can even consider turning pro and playing professional football. And there's a chance that Shedeur could even play a senior year at Jackson State and, break and set every record that is down there at 1400 Lynch Street. But I want to talk about Mr. Van Buren and talk about that future of the QB room at Jackson State. Obviously, like I said, Shedeur has with the NCAA, how it works, the NFL, you have to stay through your junior year. And Shedeur quite possibly could be, an early round pick after his junior year. But if my money, I would say he's probably going to stay all 4 years. That's just my guessing just in 2022. He's got 2 years from now before we even consider it. But in 2022, I'd say he stay all 4 years. And if he stays all 4 years, that actually lines up perfectly for a high-level recruit like Michael Van Buren. Here's the thing about Coach Prime. He does everything in grand fashion. He does not want to have that significant of a drop-off. Obviously, you're going to have a drop-off. You have a 4-year starter in Shedeur to the next quarterback, even if he's a 3-year starter, to the next quarterback. But just like how he's bringing high-level skill positions, that is going to attract a high-level quarterback. The top programs in the country, your Ohio States, your Alabamas, your LSUs, your Texas A&Ms, your USCs, they bring in quarterbacks every single year. Jackson State hasn't really done that, even though Shedeur is just coming off his freshman year. They haven't really brought in anybody noteworthy at the quarterback position. I think starting this recruiting class, starting in Shedeur's his going into his sophomore year, we might start to see that change. They brought in the transfers like the Grayson Thompsons. They brought in the transfers like the JPs, but guys who aren't, like I said, they aren't noteworthy. JP kind of was because he went to Ohio State, but he was a walk-on Ohio State. A guy like Michael Van Buren, granted, he's only coming off his sophomore year, so he's only a rising junior. He's in the class of 2024, is a noteworthy guy, a four-star prospect. Let's take a look at and look at some of his offers that he has. I mean, we're talking about a high-level prospect and Michael Van Buren, a 6 foot, 180 pounds out of St. Francis Academy in Baltimore, a top 120, 130 prospect, the 10th ranked quarterback in the class of 2024. Right now, the number 3 prospect in the state of Maryland, 4 stars. But look at some of these offers. We're talking about Alabama, Arizona, Boston College, Georgia Tech, Maryland. Alabama going at them heavy with 2 primary and a secondary recruiter, because Alabama does what? They bring in high-level quarterbacks every single year. This is the guy. This is the type of player that when a guy like Shedeur Sanders, a Jerry Rice Award winner, I think very well could be an FCS Player of the Year before it's all said and done. I think very well could be a SWAC Offensive Player of the Year and a SWAC Player of the Year before it's all said and done. Maybe a multiple-time SWAC Player of the Year, Offensive Player of the Year before it's all said and done. Michael Van Buren is the type of talent that you would like to replace a guy like a Shedeur Sanders. Now, granted, we're talking years down the line, but it's never too early to look, especially when he received an offer from Jackson State this early in the process. Jackson State doesn't offer everybody as sophomores or rising juniors. As good as they are, obviously, they're an FCS program competing against Power 5 programs. You're talking about 60-something odd scholarships versus the 85 scholarships at the Power 5s. And so when you're giving these scholarships, you have to be very selective. And being very selective, especially 2 years out, it has to make a lot of sense. Michael Van Buren, his timeline matches up perfectly with a Shedeur Sanders timeline, meaning if Shedeur does 4 years, like I think he will, does 4 years, handles his business at Jackson State, and goes off into the NFL, at the end of his senior year would be the start of a freshman year for a guy like Michael Van Buren. Jackson State fans, that could be something that could get you excited. That could be something that makes a lot of sense. That could be something that Coach Prime, Coach Bartoloni, and the rest of those guys down there at 1400 Lynch Street are thinking about. Because obviously they are rocking with Shedeur Sanders. They're going to ride these next 2 to 3 years heavy and try to win as many games as possible, win as many SWAC East championships as possible, win as many SWAC championships as possible, rack up all the accolades, win as many Celebration Bowls as possible. But you also have to think about the future. Coaches at the high levels, the high-level college football coaches, especially at the quarterback position, because if you don't get any other position right, you have to get the quarterback position right, period. And the way the quarterback competition and the way the quarterback play is improving in the SWAC, the two, like I said, the 2 areas, I've said this in many videos before, the 2 areas or needs of improvement in the SWAC are trenches play and quarterback play. We see that Jackson State, Grambling, Southern, and others are going after trenches play, big-time, high-level defensive linemen and offensive linemen. And they're also going after high-level quarterbacks. The skill positions are always going to be there. You can find a diamond in the rough at quarterback too, but especially at wide receiver and running back. You can find a bunch of guys that are low level, whether it's 2 stars, no stars, unranked, whatever, and see them blossom into stars at any level, FBS, FCS, HBCU, SWAC, MEAC, whatever. But getting those high-level quarterbacks mean a lot. And you see Grambling has brought in like 5 quarterbacks. They're trying to figure out who's going to be the guy because that's a position you have to get right. Mississippi Valley just brought in the top ranked JUCO quarterback in the country because they have to get it right. Southern bringing in transfers at the quarterback position because they have to get it right. FAMU brought in a quarterback from Vanderbilt because they have to get it right. With their starting quarterback returning, they brought in a transfer quarterback because they have to get it right. To compete in this league with the growing level of talent, with the influx of talent that continues to come into the SWAC, you have to get the quarterback position right. Michael Van Buren is a name, JSU fans, may want to remember. Leave your thoughts in the comments down below. Once again, my name is JeffLightsyJr with the Black Boss channel of Victory Formation. Thank you guys for tuning in. You can follow me on Instagram and Twitter at JLightsy7. That's Instagram and Twitter at JLightsy7. Thank you guys for tuning in, and I will see you next time. Peace.